Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Meal Solutions Monday class. My name is Joni Rampolla, one of the registered licensed dietitians with Giant and Martin's. And today, our class, Flyer to Fork, I am going to make this week's meal deal. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, and I'm so excited for it. I feel like one of the best meal deals we've had, and I'm super excited to make it for you. So, what does flyer to fork actually mean? As this is the big classification of what we're calling our Meal Solutions Monday. So, the flyer, some people call it the circular, some people call it the flyer. You'll see it in your app or on the website called the weekly ad. It's all the same. It's just different terminology for the same thing. It's where our um, discounted products or specials are in the circular, in the flyer, on the weekly ad, all the same thing. So the dietitian team teamed up to find something fun to make and bring affordability to your table using what's on sale this week. So I chose this week's meal deal, and I am someone I like to have a recipe, right? Doesn't mean I use it, and I'm actually not using the recipe exactly. I have a lot of tweaks to it, but I wanted to bring something to you. So the recipe I chose is filet steaks with balsamic honey sauce. I thought it sounded good and a fun way to bring the meal deal to life. So where do I find that weekly ad, that flyer, that circular? Some people actually get it in their mailbox. I am not one of them, unfortunately. You can pick it up in the store if you're physically in the store. It's at all the entrances. You can find it on our website if you're on your computer, or if you have the app downloaded to your cell phone, you can find the weekly ad or the flyer there. So this is what it looks like if I'm on my computer. This is just a screenshot. My store is actually Martin's, but I took a giant screenshot. So what I first want to call your attention to is above the black bar, that line there of what are your options to click on. The first is the weekly ad. So when I click on that, it brings me to this screen. But I also want to go further down that line to services, because last in that lineup of what you can click on is services. And so under that tab, which I don't have a picture of here, but is where you can find the well-being team. And there is where you sign up for classes, or if you want to learn a little bit more about each of us, that's where you can find some things about our team. But now back to the weekly ad. So you find the weekly ad, you can scroll down on Thursday only. So this is a screenshot that I did on Thursday. You can see the current week's ad and the next week's ad. And that is because the ad changes on Friday. So if I'm putting in my Giant Direct or Martin's Direct order on a Thursday for Friday, I can actually see what's on sale that Friday to pick it up. So that is a great thing. So you see, you could do grid view, which just lists them up and down, or print view. I like print view to see exactly how it's laid out and what's on sale. So scrolling down there, I would see the meal deal. And if I'm on my phone, this is what it looks like. If you look at the very bottom, you see I'm only on the home tab. I didn't leave that. And it'll give me a couple of suggestions, maybe what I bought last time of products. Under that is my choice rewards points. And then right below that is the weekly ad. So I can click on that and view the weekly ad. So that's what it looks like when I am on my phone and how to find it. So I chose from the ad this week's meal deal, which I love. So it's with steaks, and the name of the steak is Rastelli's. Somehow I think we may have left off an I there. But yeah, so you have to buy two steaks, and it could be the filet mignon, the ribeye, or the New York strip steak. And you get free broccoli, yellow potatoes, or it doesn't have to be yellow potatoes. You could pick any kind of potatoes you want. They could be sweet potatoes. I think I chose the mixed, the red and the white combined. and then one of our new greenhouse grown salad mixes from Nature's Promise. And what I love about the greenhouse grown lettuce mixes is they're grown in a greenhouse, right? So it's a confined area. They provide the light and there's no soil. It's kind of hydroponically grown, and all the nutrients it needs is given to the plant to make it healthy, but there are no human hands that touch it. And because it's inside and there's no soil, there's no pesticides needed because there's no bugs there. So it's great. And it doesn't need to be washed because, again, no human hands touches it, no soil touches it. It's a great product and I love it. And I am proud that we just launched it this year. It's awesome. So that is what the meal deal is. Do you want to say prices and availability may vary according to your store or your shopping method. But if you get a chance to get this meal deal, encourage you to try it. So there are lots of ways to make this meal deal, right? I can throw everything on the grill, the steaks, the broccoli, the potatoes, if I wanted to be outside. I chose a recipe that I can do inside, which is this filet steaks with balsamic honey sauce. And I chose this because they have a vegetable, they have a potato, and they have a meat. So it just seemed like, oh, that's kind of close, even though it's not exactly what I wanted to do. Um, so the ingredients in this recipe are oil. They use French fries. I am using the potatoes with the meal deal. They use peas and green beans. I'm using the broccoli. It could be cauliflower, mixed vegetables. You had other choices, but I chose broccoli. That's what I'm using. They're using tenderloin steaks. I chose the filet mignon. So again, it's a little bit different. Shallot, balsamic vinegar, and honey. Just want to say, what is a shallot, right? A shallot belongs to the allium family, the same, it's a cousin of onions, garlics, chives, leeks. But this is what it looks like because a lot of people don't know what they are. They're milder, sweeter flavor than onions with a hint of garlic. They're often considered a gourmet onion because of their depth of flavor. And you can substitute onion in recipes where you want a gentler but more complex flavor. General guide is 2 to 3 small shallots is the same as 1 small onion if I was swapping it out in a recipe. But when sauteing, be careful. Cook them gently because they burn faster than onions. All right, these are the steps. And while I'm saying that, I'm gonna start my oven there. Maybe even pan, get it a little warm too. All right, so this is what I'm not doing, but I'm just showing you what the original recipe had. They had heat the oil in a skillet to cook the fries. I am not doing that. And then they had boiling the vegetables in a pot. So that's already using 2 pots. I'm not doing that. Instead, I'm slicing my potatoes in quarters. I'm putting the potatoes and the broccoli on a sheet pan. I'm going to drizzle oil and seasoning and then roast them. So that's easy. I am going to do the same to the steak as this recipe has. So I cut the steak in half. So you have thinner pieces. You're going to season your steak, then fry it in the pan. I have a grill pan and that's what I'm going to use. And you want to do it to medium rare, which is 135. And then you cover it for a little bit and it'll still cook a little bit more. While it's sitting covered, let the juices settle there. And then in the pan, you saute the shallot, some oil, the balsamic vinegar, honey. You're making the sauce, let it reduce down, meaning it'll steam off some of the liquid, and then pour it over your steak. And then if you want to stay connected to our team, just some things coming up. Tomorrow, I am doing produce spotlight. We're making sheet pan Brussels sprouts at noon. And then Wednesday, I'm doing table talk, and we are talking about the power of the potato with the potato farmer. Thursday, trending topics with Charlotte, cheeseburger day at noon, and then Friday, coffee chat, slow cooker season at 9. So that's how to stay connected with us. Now let's start this meal deal. Yes, excited about that. Thank you, thank you. All right. So I took my potato I have my sheet pan ready to go in the oven because I know time is limited. I cut it first down long ways and then across. So I quartered each potato to make them smaller. And I got this steam ready potato, so you can just pop them in the microwave if that's easier. This is the one I bought. There were lots of potato options. You could even do sweet potato. And then I bought some broccoli. I'm not making the whole bag. I took out what I'm making for my lunch today. And I put them on a sheet pan, just lined it with some foil or parchment paper works. And then olive oil. I love olive oil. So it said canola oil. I actually have both. You pick which one you want. I'm going to use my extra virgin olive oil. And this says at the top here, first cold extracted. So used to be called first cold pressed. That's a little bit older technology. Now first cold extracted is the exact same thing, just a newer technology. So what that means is you take olives, you press them, you get olive oil, right? That is the first cold press, first cold extracted of olive oil. All olive oil is good for your heart, doesn't matter which one it is. Choose more olive oil as your healthy fat in your day. But when they have that olive mash, they either need to chemically treat it or heat it to get more olive oil out of it. So in the second process, it does lose some of its omega-3 antioxidant good nutrients in the olive oil. So the first cold pressed has the most nutrients in it. All olive oil is good for your heart. The right mix of fats, anyone is good, but I'm a fan of the extra virgin olive oil, first cold pressed or first cold extracted. So I have my olive oil. I am just going to drizzle this a little bit over here. And then you season it the way you like. You could use salt and pepper. You can do any seasoning that you want. I am going to put a little salt-free vegetable seasoning by McCormick on my broccoli. It's one of my favorites. And then I'm going to do a little everything bagel that happens to be in my cupboard on my potato. Gives it a little bit of just seeds, a little bit of crunch, and I like it that way. I'm going to pop that in the oven first because that's going to take a little bit to cook. And I just threw my toaster oven here facing me. It's not normally here sitting on my oven because I don't want to put on the big oven. I just figured it's lunch portion. That could work. All right. So the steaks, if you saw in the meal deal, they come in different portion sizes. The smallest is the filet mignon. This is a 6-ounce steak. It's tall and short. If I would have gotten a New York strip, they come in 10 ounces. So it's different depending on which one you buy. I chose the filet mignon. It's smaller, but to me, it's the perfect size. So this recipe says to cut it in half. So I just went straight down the middle and cut it in half. And so I'm gonna cook my 1/2 strip here. So first I'm gonna heat up a little bit of olive oil in my pan. So you're supposed to leave the meat out at room temperature for a little bit, and that just helps keep the juices in when you slice it. It's not like you're gonna lose a lot of it. So for a lunch portion, I'm gonna wash my hands, pardon, my sink's right here. For a lunch portion, I am just gonna make 1/2 of that, because that is my 3 ounces of meat. And that is what's recommended to have per meal. So I am doing that. All right. So we're going to first cook our steak. And then when the steak is done, you're going to put it on a plate to let it settle for a little bit and hold it for at least 5 minutes. That lets the juices settle so they don't run out. But do want to say you don't want to put it on the same plate that you had raw meat on. So don't bring it back. You have to get a new plate. So I have my new plate sitting here ready. When that is done, then we're going to mix the shallot, the balsamic vinegar, and the honey in this pan to make a sauce. So this is going to take a little while to cook. And then my veggies in here is going to take a little while to cook. So in the meantime, I'm going to assemble a salad. This is my Nature's Promise greenhouse grown. There were lots of choices. I chose green and red leaf lettuce. And again, not touched by human hands. I love that. Peak of freshness, no pesticides, no herbicides, no GMO ingredients, right? It's just grown in its prime. So my salad, I'm just gonna open this and put it in a bowl. Have a little bowl here. I don't think I'm even going to use the whole thing. There's a lot in there. That looks like a good size salad to me. And then I just cut up some vegetables to make my salad colorful. I bought some matchstick carrots, some tomatoes. The tomatoes are actually from my garden, which I'm pretty proud of. Some yellow bell pepper and some cucumber. And the cucumber is actually from my garden too. So I'm just going to take some of these and put it on my salad to make a complete, oops. And I just had some carrots fly. Make a salad nice and colorful. And you could add to your salad nuts, cheese. If you want to even put the steak on top of the salad and make a steak salad, that would be an interesting idea too. I might actually do that for lunch. Now that I'm thinking of it, that sounds kind of good. Yeah, so just mix it up, get some color. And I think that's, yeah. So yeah, this is going to be my salad served with a steak. And I might even put my steak right on top of the salad, make it that kind of lunch, or it could be separate, whatever you want, because that broccoli and potatoes come in too. So I'll probably keep it separate now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, so that's that. I'm going to turn my steak over here, move that out of the way. So this is like a full meal, broccoli, potatoes, salad. So I seared one side of my steak, and now we're going to sear the other side. Love the sheet pan meals. Yes, I do too. There are 19 classes this month. Yep, some months that just happens. What brand of air fryer do you have? So this is just a toaster oven. It can air fry, but it's not specifically an air fryer. I am on bake mode right now. Oops. Maybe I wasn't on bake mode. I think it turned off on me. Hot. I don't see my little light on. So what brand? It's a Cuisinart brand. But yeah, it's a toaster oven. I don't know why it doesn't look like it's working right now. But we'll see. But my meat is almost done. And I want to just show you how I know it's almost done. Always recommend sticking a thermometer in. But if you look at the side, that's kind of what medium rare looks like. Like you see the ends are brown and then the middle is still pink, right? Top, I have the score marks. Bottom, I have the score marks from my pan as a grill pan, so it does that. So I'm going to say this is done, but I would want to test the temperature of it before I eat it. I am covering it with foil and then it kind of steams and cooks a little bit more. And then now I'm going to make the sauce. So I happen to have a little bit of red onion left. So instead of a shallot today, I'm finishing up my red onion in the refrigerator. So I'm going to put in my, I'm calling it a shallot, but it's not. It's really a red onion. I'm just pretending because they're similar. I have Taste of Inspiration balsamic vinegar, and this is what I'm going to use. So a third of a cup balsamic vinegar goes in with the shallot. I'm just going to pour that. And then this is my 2 tablespoons of honey, and it says reduce it. You see all the steam coming up. That is how it reduces. I'm probably not going to put in all the honey that it calls for because I like things a little sweet, but not too sweet. All right, that works for me. And let's see, my spatula here. Let's wiggle around that onion. So then when this is done in the oven, and I do see that the oven's on, I don't know why it looked like probably temporarily turns off when it's at the temperature. I'm like, oh, I'm looking at it, I don't see it on. But yes. So when that is done, this is done, I'm just going to combine them on a plate. I'll have this beautiful side salad, and we will make an amazing meal today. So this should only take a couple minutes to heat up the onion and to reduce some of the liquid in the sauce. And then you pour it over your meat and it will make a beautiful plate. And I'm going to grab a new plate. Put my plate down here. I'm going to see. It's done. Definitely not done. You know what? I'm going to put some on a plate anyway. It still needs to cook. Definitely not browned, but we're getting to that time. So I'm going to plate it, make it look pretty. Put some of my potatoes on the plate. That definitely need more time in the oven. I guess that 10 minutes just isn't enough, but that's okay. This is showing you how to do it, right? That's what we're doing here. But we're going to pretend this is nice and roasted, even though it's not so nice and roasted. I'm going to put my meat. Hold up my meat. And remember how pink it was. Let's hold it over the plate because there's some juices there. You could see how it's less pink now because it sat under there, but it's still pink. You can make it well done if that is your choice. This is how I like it. And then we're going to get some of these beautiful onions on top with the sauce. And pretend that the potatoes and green beans are nicely charred too. With my side salad. What do you think of that meal? That's beautiful, right? That's our meal deal this week. I love it. Bon appetit. I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to see if in the last couple minutes there are any questions for me. Oh, you signed up for October. Awesome, awesome. I hope to see you then. Oh, gonna watch the replay. Yep. The meal deal. Um, I don't think chuck roast was part of the meal deal. I think it was ribeye, the filet mignon, or New York strip. Thank you. You didn't shut your stove off. Thank you. Appreciate that. Get the meal deal for sure. Thank you for a great class. You are quite welcome. Thanks for the demo. Loved your presentation. Thank you. The store is not in your area, so this should be in any of your Giant Martin stores. Um, the chuck roast was a weekend special. Thank you, Linda, for helping me out with that. You always learn something new and inspired to eat healthy. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that comment. You are quite welcome. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks and have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this and hope you get a chance to enjoy a meal deal. Bye. Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Bye.